what's on your mind as we look ahead to the Week 4 slate?
If anyone has the capacity to legally stream the Dolphins-Bills game at 1 o'clock on Sunday morning, 1 p.m. Eastern, and is not doing so, they are outside of their mind. I think this is probably the best. I think you circle some matchups early in the season as like, oh, these would be really good based off of our preseason stuff. This is the first matchup where it's like, all right, now that I've like seen the teams, here we go. I got a team I'm for sure positive is good against a team I'm for sure positive is good. I've got divisional rivalries involved here. I've got the history of how these teams played each other last season. I'm very, very interested in this game. A lot of attention is on the Dolphins offense just scored 70 points. Like, obviously, there's going to be a lot of attention on that. But it's okay. What will they do against this Bills defense? I honestly, I know what they're going to do. They're going to score somewhere around 30 points. They might score somewhere around 40 if they have a good day. I don't think you hold this. I don't think you beat this team defensively. I think you slow them down enough to win. But I'm not like, oh, there's a chance the Bills hold them to 17. I'd be flabbergasted. I'd just be stunned at this point if the Dolphins have that sort of a game. So to me, I'm much more interested in Josh Allen because when we had that Week 1 game of Allen against the Jets, I was very critical of him for not just sitting down and being mature and being a game manager in a game that only required him to do so. When now he's going to walk into a Dolphins game where he's going to know entering the game, we're in for a little bit of a firefight here, right? Where this is going to be a potentially high scoring one. It's going to be going back and forth a lot. But you can't walk in and decide you're just going to be a fire breathing dragon for 4 quarters. Like you still if you are like, all right, I got to go toe for toe. I got to score a ton of points. It's all on me. And you make 2 mistakes in the first half, and you're walking to the halftime locker room down multiple scores. Like you cannot make those mistakes. So I'm very interested to see how Josh responds to this game. Already down 1 game in the division, knowing it's going to be a quality opponent. It's a total of 53.5 points. It's going to be a high scoring game. I'm interested in seeing how Josh Allen modulates his game based off the last time we saw him in an environment where I think there was he put a lot of pressure on himself to be the guy to score the points to win the game, and he performed very poorly. You're smirking at me. You smirked at me the whole time. Well, do you know how hard it is to do this? When I can just see you, just everything behind the mic. We put a TikTok up of me doing all that talking, and just you there being like, I'm going to say something clever. Just a little smirk the whole time.
No, I'm not going to say anything clever. I know what's going to, Josh Allen, modulation. Josh Allen going into this game not wanting to be a fire breathe. No, that's not how the guy's wired. He's going into this game saying, "Oh, they put up 70. Listen, we're still really good. Guess what? The Bill, even with that 70 burger, that 50-point win, the Dolphins are plus 59 through 3 games. The Bills are plus 56. They're right behind them. The Bills have been an amazingly competitive team under Josh Allen week in and week out. They've played 40 games in the last 3 years. They've been beaten by more than a field goal twice in 40 games. That is like a relentless streak of competitiveness. And I don't think there's going to be any modulation. I don't think there's going to be any I can't turn the ball over. I don't have to do too much. I have to play within the game. No, he's going to go into this game and he's going to say, I'm going to put the team on my back. They put up 70 last week. We're going to match them possession for possession. We'll see what our defense does, but we're not taking a backseat to that team. And if I have to throw for 370 and run for 95, guess what? That's what it's going to take. And if I throw an interception, I don't care. The next possession, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the same thing. So that's the only reason I was smirking, is because I don't see, any type of different style of Josh Allen, specifically in this game. I know we've talked about before defenses played them differently. You had to take the underneath stuff, and he was doing that really the first half of last season. To me, this isn't that type of game. I mean, that Dolphins defense has not been great to me through the first 3 weeks of the season. They've created some turnovers and been good in that sense. I think they're 31st in defensive success rate. Now, listen, there's some garbage time in there, I understand, but I think they're still sort of finding themselves, figuring out what they want to be under Vic Fangio. So I actually think that Dolphins defense is gettable, and I think Josh Allen is going to view that Dolphins defense as gettable, and I think he's going to go into this game saying, I'm going to put this team on my back, and we're going to go beat the Dolphins, and we're going to recapture control of the AFC East.
I agree that Allen's still going to come out shooting because Allen's going to come out shooting. Like that's I have no issue with that. If I were in the Bills offensive game planning room, I'd be watching that Chargers game in week 1 where the Chargers put up historical success rates running the football against this Dolphins offense. And I thought Nate Tice, he's on the Athletic Pod, he writes for Yahoo Sports. He has a weekly column, comes out Thursdays. A very good column. He had a big section this week dedicated to the Bills running game. And I thought he did a great job detailing how right now the Bills handoff game, just offensive line game, James Cook game, is really better than it's been for the last several years in Josh Allen's tenure with the Bills. I would want in Buffalo to come out and say, we are going to run the football. We are going to minimize the number of possessions they're going to get, right? We're not going to let them have 11 cracks at this. We're going to make them have 8 cracks at this. We're going to be able to work methodically down the field against this defense, the Vic Fangio defense that lets you run on it if you can be successful. And accordingly, we're going to put together some nice long ball control drives. We're not going to say Josh Allen is suddenly Davis Mills, but we're going to be oriented on being balanced. That means now, like Josh, like we can't go 7-8 plays down the field and then on 3rd and 4, you decide that a 45-yard javelin to the back post, Stephon Diggs in double coverage is like a fun thing to do. Like if we're going to do this, we got to do this. And I think they can. You saw them do it against the Raiders, and they did it against the Commanders as well. Just now do it against the Dolphins. You're not playing Tua Tagovailoa. You're playing Vic Fangio. You're playing these guys. Like if this is our game plan, this is our game plan. So I think they're going to be a little bit run heavy. And I think accordingly, like you just have to make sure your quarterback is okay with the fact that he's not on Terminator kill shot mode every single down. And he can be. We've seen him do it before. Just chill and we'll be fine.
I don't want to see it. Just chill, Josh Allen, in this game. I hear what this was my headliner too, and I think this is good. We can have an extended conversation about this game because, like you said, I mean, this could end up being the best game of the season. Now, sometimes you put expectations on a game like that, and it doesn't live up to it. But it's certainly the game I'm most excited about so far this season. I think your point about kind of the game script and the strategy from Sean McDermott is a really interesting one because McDermott is a defensive-minded head coach. He's coached against great quarterbacks throughout his career. He's coached against great offenses throughout his career. And typically those types of coaches would not go into a game being like, well, I don't think we're going to stop the Dolphins offense. Let's shrink the number of possessions. But he has had some moments where he's done, kind of gone that route. Like I think they played the Chiefs a few years ago, not that playoff game, but another game where it was a little bit of that, where it's, hey, we can't waste possessions on offense. Let's be aggressive, going for it on 4th down. And the shrinking the number of possessions thing, it's not time of possession, and it's not just an offensive thing. It has to be an offensive and a defensive thing, because if you're stringing together, 9 play drives and then they score in 3 plays, well, like they're still going to have a lot of possessions, but the overall theory is good. It's that, hey, the more possessions the Dolphins get, the more they're going to, go towards the average of what they're going to be, which is a great offense. So if you only have to stop them 8 times and you force 2 punts, like that's easier than if they get 11 or 12 possessions, and eventually you're only going to be able to hold them for so long. So yeah, I am interested to see. I think you're right. I think they'll try to string together long, efficient drives. Again, that's only going to matter if you can stop them from being as explosive as they've been so far, and make the Dolphins string together long drives. So this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, I can't wait. They played right now. Ben, have you looked at the AFC East division odds recently? Or do you want to guess who's the favorite and what the numbers are?
Recently.
Okay.
The Dolphins are going to be the favorite, but it's not going to be big. They're just plus money, right? They're going to be like plus 135.
Nope.
Are they minus 1? Whoa, that's a lot. That's too much.
Yeah.
What are they, minus 115?
The Dolphins are minus 135 right now.
Gee.
To win the division. The Bills are plus 145 right now to win the division.
Oh, they're just taking so much equity out of Jets Patriots. Minus 135 plus 145 is like the whole market right there.
Yeah, well, it should be. I mean, who's picking the Jets or the Patriots? I mean, they shouldn't even have numbers up there right now. So to me, it's, we're going to, like, either this game, we're going to come out of it saying the Dolphins are the team to beat in the AFC East and are a legit Super Bowl contender. I mean, you might already be there with what you've seen from 3 games so far this season. That's entirely possible. I mean, a 2-game lead, it's only week 4, so I don't want to go overboard, but it would be a 2-game lead over the Bills Bills after 4 weeks, or we're going to say, no. Like, the Bills have owned this division. The Bills are still going to be the team to beat. Sean McDermott's put some type of defensive game plan that Ben Solak's breaking down on the play sheet next week. Say, oh baby, look at what McDermott did here.
I am interested in that. Like, I know
he's a great defensive coach.
Yeah, and also like you fired Leslie
Exactly.
Leslie Frazier stepped down of his own volition, but then also tried to stay in coaching and wants to stay coaching, whatever terminology they use. Leslie Frazier's gone. So now you have Sean McDermott running the defense, and they had an entire year to be like, all right, we know we're going to see this Dolphins offense twice. I'm very curious to see what they come out with, because Belichick rolled out with like the Iowa State defense. You know, they were running like 3 safeties deep, and that was not great, but it was what they had to do. I'll be curious to see what McDermott and the Bills do. I don't think it's going to, again, fully stop this offense, but it is interesting to see.
Yeah, I can't wait for this game. They played twice last year. One was kind of with Tua. They played 3 times overall. They had the kind of the snow game later in the season, and then they had the one early in the season where Tua left the game, came back in, had the head injury, which they didn't say was a head injury, which, who I guess I should say allegedly, whatever, looked like a head injury, but they said wasn't a head injury. Bridgewater came in, then Tua came back in, and the Dolphins ended up winning that game. And then again, 32-29 Bills later in the season, where both offenses went off for like over 400 yards. So this is going to be a fun month with Allen. Last thing from me on this is just like, is it going to be the I'm still the man game, or is it going to be the I tried to do too much game, to bring it back full circle from what you said at the beginning? It's going to be one or the other. Like, it's either going to be, holy cow, did you see that performance from Josh Allen, or holy cow, did you see that performance? Like, it's going to be one extreme or the other. I don't think there's going to be a middle ground for Josh Allen in this game. I think these are 2 teams that can win the Super Bowl. Like, if we had to make a list of, let's say, 6 teams, 8 teams, whatever, at this point in the season, who can win the Super Bowl, both these teams are on there. So it's fun to get this matchup early in this season.